If you want to make a company say yes a lot easier, so you need to think, okay, I've got to offer them something that's a no-brainer, then you've got to offer them new customers. You've got to offer them a promise that's like, okay, I'll be silly not to go for that. I'll be silly to turn that down. Hello, race driver. It's Enzo with the Race Driver Coach Show with another episode talking about sponsorship. Okay, I'm a race driver coach, which means I develop drivers and help them develop the skills they need to become a pro and to remain a pro. But as you know, I dabble in sponsorship because I had to find it when I was a driver. And also I know it's one of the biggest pains in the backside for every driver out there, or most drivers out there, should we say, is the fact that they can't afford to race. So they need to go out there and get companies to help them to pay for racing, and that is seriously difficult. As you will have found, no company wants to really pay for your racing. Why would they? It's your goal, your desire, your dream. They're trying to run a company that creates profit to get their dreams that they've got. Why the hell would they pay for your racing? And I don't blame them. I won't pay for other people's racing because you've got to pump all the money back into your company. Unless a driver comes to you with an offer that you can't refuse. The reason I did another sponsorship video for you guys was because of this one question from, I'll call you Bruce, it's not your real name, but this was the question from Bruce. Enzo, what's the for sure way that I can get a company to say yes to sponsor me? A big question, something I wish I knew when I was driving, because it's the holy grail of getting a company to say yes. What can I offer them? Little old me. So I'm going to give you it in the most direct way possible. And there's still going to be people out there and companies that say no, of course, because you might word it wrong and it might not really fit what they want to do in their career and their trajectory. But to really put the ball in your court in terms of weighing the odds towards them saying yes, I would say the most powerful way is for you to offer them money. For you to offer them clients, that means. Let me explain a bit more. If somebody come to me, a race driver, and I own this multi-million-dollar company, profit, and somebody came to me and said, I can get you, or I will, even more powerful, I'll get you more clients. I'll get you better quality ones. I'm going to give you money. I'm going to generate cash, income, earning that you're not getting right now. And all you got to do is pay, and they give me a bit of proof of how it works. They take the risk out of it. They say, don't worry, you don't have to pay me anything just yet, but I'll bring you custom. And when I do bring you custom, then you pay me. I think most companies are going to say yes. And this is something to think about as just one of your strings to your bow. One of the things you can offer to certain companies that have products or they have clients that pay a lot of money. So just thinking like a yacht manufacturer, and you go to them saying or offering the chance that you can find them new clients that they haven't got already, people that can buy their boats, right? You go to someone like that and you know it's a big ticket item, so the commission on it would be a lot. You'd get tens, if not hundreds of thousands of pounds or dollars just by giving them one client. That's the kind of thing that I want you to think about when you're looking at sponsorship, because it is business, right? And when you want to play this business game, you've got to make sure that you can generate business for other people. That's all you're doing in racing. If you put this advertising on your car, it's not just nice to see it, and then hopefully one person will say, oh, I wonder what that company is, and research them and go, oh, I actually need that item or that service. I'm gonna actually buy from them. It doesn't happen like that. It really doesn't, hardly ever. So the putting on the side of the car doesn't really mean much, apart from a company that might want to put their branding within that kind of environment. So they want the motorsport reputation to develop their brand because they want to have the same kind of brand that motorsport offers. or they want to just have it as an advertising board to the hundreds of tens of thousands of people at the track. That's okay, but it's not worth that much, honestly. Especially on TV, you say, oh, it will be seen on TV, but it probably won't. By the time the camera's followed it, it's panned out, so you don't really see the sponsor that well unless it's very bright and big. So you just see a flash of it. Again, people at home are watching the racing. They're not thinking, oh, that's a company. Let's have a look what they do. Oh, they do this. I need that. Again, it's never going to happen, right? So you need to play the business game in a more straightforward way. If you want to make a company say yes a lot easier, so you need to think, okay, I've got to offer them something that's a no-brainer, then you've got to offer them new customers. You've got to offer them a promise that's like, okay, I'll be silly not to go for that. I'll be silly to turn that down. What can you do for a company that will get them to that realization? This is the challenge that I want you to spend time on right now. If it is, I'm going to bring you customers, and I know that each customer's worth X, whatever that X is, then I'm going to offer you 20% commission for bringing these customers to you. They probably won't even pay you to go out there and find them, but once you've found them, they'll pay you. That really is the best way to make somebody pay you, or to give them an easy yes. There's a mathematical approach to this. If you go to a company and you offer them that you're going to bring custom, you need to find out how much each customer's worth. And I bet you a lot of the people you approach don't even know. A lot of the companies don't know what the average customer spends with them over the lifetime of the customer. So say, for example, if you're a subscription service, Netflix, they should know through all the analytics how long the average person stays with them, how much the average person spends with them in the lifetime of each one. So they can take all of their customers, all their people that are signing up to Netflix, and they can say the average person stays for 4 years by the looks of it. They pay this much, and they can put a value on that. So they know that each customer they get, a new one, the potential earning is that sum. They know. You can go to a company as a bit of a consultant, and you can find out what each of their customers are worth to them. So what's the average that a customer will stay with you? They'll say 2 or 3 years. What does that mean they're going to spend with you when in that time? It's 10 grand or whatever it is for that company. Great. You now know that on average, each customer's worth that amount. And that's really what you're taking to a company to start the conversation with. And you're telling them something they don't know. They've never actually sat down and worked it out, a lot of companies. So then you know, okay, I am going to endeavor to bring you 5 new clients. 5 times the sum of each customer, what they're worth, is your value. So then you can say, right, I'm either going to bring you these 5 and I'll get commission. And you've got to be quite confident if you can bring people, right? So if you know that you can bring customers to a company because you've got access to them and you know that that service or that product will be valuable to them, you're like the salesperson who goes and gets the clients, brings them to the company, and they pay you. You can do it that way, right? Just pure commission. Perfect. No risk for the company. Not much risk for you, really. You just got to go out and get them, get the new customers, introduce, take the money, spend that money on your racing. So it doesn't even need to be straight up sponsorship. You're a broker. Or you say, we can offer you a marketing package which should, and they know how much, you've told them how much each customer is worth on average, which should attract this amount of clients or customers to you. So then you're telling them the potential. This is the potential that can come from sponsoring this race car or this race team. We've got access to these people, and if we can just bring 5 new clients to you or customers, the whole sponsorship package is paid for. And that is amazing, especially if you say each customer's worth about 20K for them, and you think you can find them 3, and they can see through the sponsorship package that it's really possible. Surely you can get 3 new clients out of all this motorsport world that you're going to introduce them to and get them in front of all these thousands of people. Surely 3 of them will buy our products. And they're spending 20K. So this is now getting juicy. That's 60K worth of new custom. And say you just want 50 or 40 from them. It's like, wow, there's a good return on investment here. I give this driver, say 30K. They can find me, I'm sure, 3 new clients, 60 grand's worth of custom. Come on, it might be worth a punt. This is the level you need to think of. And the numbers just get bigger if you need bigger sponsorship. Or you go to various companies. So say if you've got to get 200 grand together, you're like, wow, okay, I've got to think of big ticket items here. Or companies that do have like a 20 grand on each customer as an average. That's how much they spend with them. I've got to get 10. I've got to get 10 sponsors and promise them 1 new client. I've got to get 5 new companies I've got to really pitch to and get them 2 new clients. So then you start to think, this is interesting. This is how you do business. So you've got to come up with a way and get creative with this, because I'm just giving you one way of doing this, but get creative. I need to go to a company so it is a no-brainer. They look at the proposal, they can see the potential of me bringing them new customers, and all I've got to do is make sure the math is correct. So the risk is taken out, or at least they can see a very good potential of return on investment. You do that to someone, or to a company owner, or the financial guy that's in charge of the CFO, or anybody, or even marketing, you're taking the risk out of it a little bit. So when you're talking to that marketing manager, they're not seeing it as a risk. So they're not going to say yes to something that might get them fired. Because remember, if they make a decision and you don't pull through, they're in trouble. If the boss of the whole company makes a decision and you don't pull through, that person's in trouble as well, because they've just lost loads of money. Maybe they've got to go and explain it to the board of directors, or just look at their balance sheet and go, oh my God, I messed up. They don't want that. You've got to take that away from them. Peace of mind by commission only on the things I find, the things I sell, and you give me commission. That's the easiest one, right? Because it's a no-brainer. Yeah, go and find me customers. I'll pay you when you get them. Easiest way, you're just going to have to put the yards in to get them. Or if they do pay for a package, you've got to convince them and help them see the potential of the amount of clients that you can get for them, and put a figure on that. And hopefully the figure of the clients you can get them is bigger than the cost they're spending with you, the money they're spending with you. That is the straightforward way of getting a yes from somebody.